who goes. He had a Magen David on his cap, and they missed it.
What about you wear a cap, not a kippah?
You can wear a kippah.
You can wear a kippah, yeah.
You can wear a kippah. One of the discussions has been, especially everyone here has a foreign passport, the tourists don't get this treatment. So maybe it's better to go as a tourist. And the answer which I got was, we want to go as Jews. We want to connect on the site as Jews. We don't want to go. It's not about me personally having a good time on Har HaBayit. It's about us, the Jewish people, reconnecting to Har HaBayit. So he said, so no, when you're on Har HaBayit, we'll see a video in a minute, but no, nothing religious. You can't shokol, you can't move your lips. Mm-hmm. Okay, you can't. You can pray as long as you don't look like you're praying. So what people often do is they'll talk to their friend, they'll say it's tefillah. Shir Hamal with David, Samachti B'Amrim Beit Adonai Melech. Okay? And
couldn't put it better myself. Yeah.
Sorry?
Couldn't put it better myself.
Or you can be clever and say like a nice drawer and then throw a pasuk in there.
Yeah. Okay, so you can't shokol, no bowing, so nothing religious looking. One of my times on the Mount, I stood looking with intense concentration. And the Arab went to the policeman. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this. There's a waqf person, like a person from the Muslim authorities there, and a policeman, and their whole job is to watch the Jew and try and get him arrested. Okay? The police have a double role. That's the role of the waqf. The police have a double role. One is to try and get the Jew arrested, and two is if the Muslims get too out of hand, then to protect the Jews. So I said, what is allowed is to guide or tour or speak. So you're allowed to talk about Har HaBayit. You're allowed to bring tour books as long as they're not religious in nature. And you're allowed to speak. So I said, if you can speak a tefillah, then that's okay.
Photography?
You're allowed to take pictures. But again,
pictures, videos, anything is possible.
You're allowed to. Why are you taking the picture? Taking a picture so, I went to Disneyland, I took a picture. That's not the right point. You're taking a picture to emphasize the idea, to strengthen our connection, to show our friends and encourage them. From their point of view, it's allowed. It's actually recommended today, because what's turned out from a legal perspective, the best way to protect the rights to Jews is if they have it on film. So if they have it on film, there's proof. If there's no proof, then you go to the court, it's your word against the police. I heard once, here, turn off for a second. It was put up about 2 weeks ago. This is actually very interesting because until now, one of the ways to control things was that everything was done mi'ur pal. How do you say like mi'ur pal? Like
hazy.
Me'umam. Very hazy. There were no clear directives. No one really knew what was going on. No one took responsibility. Recently, the police came out with a sign of clear directives, which on one hand is better for the people who want to go up because they can take that to court and challenge it. If there's no directives, there's nothing to challenge. On the flip side, it shows the police feel more confident in what's going on, and they're not afraid of coming out explicitly and saying what they're doing because they know that they'll get support from the establishment. Okay? I don't know if you can read the things, but it says, I just put in here the parts that Yudah Blick mentions likes best. It says, Hincha nichnas lemakom kadosh. You're entering a holy site. Okay? Asur pe'ilut ruchanit, or datit. You cannot do any religious activities in the holy site. Asur achnasat shmishei kedusha. You cannot bring any religious objects into the holy site, into the religious site. So it's like ludicrous. Where's the movie slide? Oh, okay, we missed the movie.
No.
Let's see if I can find the movie. Okay, these are some. Okay,
can you tell that?
These are a group of Haredi kids.
Okay, can you tell that a little bit more? Yeah. That's good.
Who goes Okay, so the reality today, in the last year and a half or so, is that people are surrounded by groups of screaming Arab, mostly women and also men. They are actually paid. They are paid to be there. They get about 3,000 to 5,000 shekels a month.
Wow!
I said, what a great job. You get Har HaBayit, Yel Hashem Elokim, and get paid for it too.
Cool.
So they get paid by the Muslim Brotherhood, which has links to Hamas. The police have, the courts have ruled.
Oh, I saw it today. Yeah.
What?
I saw it today.
Yeah. The courts have ruled that it's a prayer it's a prayer, it's not a provocation, so they're allowed to do it. Sometimes you can see they get a bit more violent, especially also if they're younger, they can get a bit more violent. Once in a while, when they really overdo it, the police ban a few. So there's actually a group off Har HaBayit with shirts saying I was banned from Al-Aqsa, yelling at the Jews when they come off. But this is one of the early cases where they terrorized a couple of children, and this is last spring. This made the rounds. It reached several Chavrei Knesset saw this, and it actually changed their view. So this is crazy. This is what's going on. We're letting the Arabs terrorize children on Har HaBayit, and like they say, Yibru Nafal HaSimon. So this is something you have to be prepared for when you go up. Okay, I think that's enough. You guys got the gist? Okay, again, so why is this happening? How do we deal with it? We can talk from a physical, from a spiritual perspective. Basically, the Muslims are realizing that the Jews are connecting more and more to Har HaBayit, and they're more interested in it, and they're feeling threatened. It's like a baby with a toy. They don't care about it until the other baby's interested, and then all of a sudden they're really attached to it. So until the Jews came back to Israel in the late 1800s, there really wasn't much interest in Har HaBayit. Once the Jews started coming back, then all of a sudden the Arabs are getting more involved, and the local Muslims are getting more involved. And recently they see the Jews are getting more and more connected, so the Arabs are trying to raise the stakes and make it more and more difficult. And let's call it some kind of collusion here, like I mentioned, between the establishment that doesn't want the Jews to get more involved. So it's sort of like Matrix, right? They want to keep everyone quiet in their dream state. And so there's a collusion between the Arabs and the establishment. And what's keeping it Jewish now, what's keeping it going is the Jews that go up. So how do you deal with it? How do you go up there? And then on the one hand, there's this dichotomy between this great holy spirituality, this holy spiritual place, the holiest place on the whole planet. On the other hand, you see their destruction, you can't even think. Sometimes they yell so loud that you can't even think. So I will suggest two ways to deal with it. One that works for me, one that works for Gila. What works for me is I just try and ignore them. I don't see the reality, and I look with my mind's eye, and I see the Mikdash walls, and I see the Mikdash, and I see the Kohanim and the Levim, and I just ignore what's going on. Okay, that works for me. Gila said it doesn't work for her. What works for Gila is every time they yell, Allahu Akbar, so she doesn't say this out loud because then she would get arrested, but she says in her mind, Hashem Hu Elohim. It's something that you have to be aware of, certainly for the first time. People come out with mixed emotions. If you might be very elated, you might be very distressed. It'll probably be a bit of both. I forgot to mention, by the way, when we come out, so I'll go back to the slide. Yeah, you don't come out where we went in. You don't come out at the Mugrabi gate. You come out of Shar Shoshelet. Right, you know where that is? The chain gate? Do you know where that is?
No.
Okay, it's basically one over past the Kotel. And then you walk back left, and you go back to the Aron to get your stuff, and then you can go home. So getting back to here, so we have to keep in mind when we're there, we're thinking about what our ultimate long-term goal is. And this is the way to get there. The way to get there is for people to connect, for people to realize that there is something past the Kotel. The Kotel isn't the end, it's not the grand finale. There's something on the other side of the wall. We don't want to pray to the wall anymore, we want to pray at Har HaBayit to God. And this is the way to make it closer, to make it for more reality, and to help us get there. Okay, so I think I'm done. Any questions?
Very nice presentation.
Okay, so what I'll just add is I don't know if the police still allow this, but it used to be that when people go as groups, they could pre-register and then go in faster. So I'm going to ask you all anyone who wants to come with me on Thursday, you can give me now, or you can email me your Hebrew name and your Zahut number, and I'll see if the police will let us register the group, and then you can go in a little bit faster.
How many to a group?
Sorry?
How many do they let up?
It's hard to say. After Yehuda Glick was shot, then they changed, again, they keep changing the status quo against us. They limited it to 10 people to a group. I heard recently they've raised it to 15. Okay, but again, it depends on the day and what's going on.
Right.
It could happen that we'll get there and they'll let us go right away. It could happen that they'll get there and we'll have to wait for 2 hours. I'm hoping that's why I want to be there by 7:20. Because 7:30, that's when a lot of Jews start coming and things pick up. So if we're there at 7:20, we'll beat most of the Jews.
The earlier the better.
Sorry?
The earlier the better.
Yeah.
I don't have the time on this Thursday. I didn't realize it's such a big time commitment.
Okay, I'm guessing it'll end about 10.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought, I really, that's why I asked you,
Yeah.
how long ago? Like,
Right.
I was actually went up last a week and a half ago. I went up with Rabbi Richmond and I got there at 7 o'clock and they accepted the Tudot Zut, the security guard.
Uh-huh.
So when they opened the gate, I got there at 7:15. They let us up at 8 o'clock and we left by 9.
Right.
That was a lot
So if
of
you're
work.
up early, you're in the first group, you usually have to zone and get there by
And they usually do the
7:20.
full sivu before
Right,
all the ball
right.
that means
Mike.
you have to go to the mikveh like by
Yes.
6.
So my
Really?
intention, right, you have to go very early. My intention is probably, again, I'm going to look for a mikvah which is kasher the right to everyone. Because I said here, again, I'm not saying this isn't, I'm just saying I didn't get a straight answer. Or let's put it like this. I got an answer from the Balan who's in charge that it's not kosher with the right but it doesn't mean it's not really kosher right. It just means it doesn't necessarily have all the chumrat and hidurim. But I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to find one which is. The two options I'm looking at now are Piskat Ze'ev or Kiryat Moshe, which I think are okay. I'll leave with a car around, I'm guessing about 5:30. Yeah, you have to get up early. You have to make a commitment. And we'll go to mikveh, we'll go to Daven, we'll go to Har HaBayit, and then everyone is free to go on their way. So let me know if you're planning to come with me in the car, so I'll know to arrange to pick you up. If you want to go another day, another time, let me know, and I'll see if I can find a guide for you. If you have other people that want to come, b'simcha, let me know. I wanted to keep it small because I said there's a limitation with the size of groups. Okay, and I'm very happy to go with you. And B'ezrat Hashem, there should be like they said, they reached the moon. One small step for me, one large step for mankind. B'ezrat Hashem to bring the mikdash closer. One thing which is worth mentioning, I've heard from many people. I think you also said it tonight. Once people get used to going to Har HaBayit, then the kotel loses its magic. People realize it's just a wall. Like I said before, it's not just the wall. It has holiness because the Jewish people made it a holy place. But it doesn't have any inherent holiness. I was there once for one of the prayer organizations. I think it was when the 3 boys were kidnapped. And you had 50,000 people there. And you just felt the utzmot. How do you see the utzmot?
The intensity?
The intensity of the prayer, and you felt this is special. But it wasn't special because of the kotel. It was special because 50,000 Jews were praying together for something. Something else mentioning, we were talking about the intensity of tefillah, is we talk about the Arabs that don't let the Jews, or the establishment and the Arabs that don't let the Jews pray. You really appreciate the koach of tefillah, the intensity and the utzmot of tefillah that we have, up to the point that we don't even feel it. But the non-Jews can appreciate the power of our tefillah, and they don't even let us say a prayer because they're worried what could happen if a Jew accidentally says a prayer on our holy site.
Dov, count me in.
Okay, thanks. So you want to give me your details?
What do you want from me?
Just write your Hebrew name on your Teudat Zut and your Teudat Zut number.